Hello there. I hope that you all are doing great over there at home. I have been asking these questions to you many times whenever I'm there in front of you on screen, right? Because we are concerned about you. Because of that only we have brought you these virtual classes, and we want you to just sit tight and watch all the programs because you'll be getting benefited from all those. Okay, so as you could see on board, that today I'm going to deal with the topic called vocabulary, and it's mainly for class 8. For that, I need you to take up your pen, a notepad, or whatever you have right now to record all those which I'll be telling you or teaching you. I don't want you to miss them. And if you don't have time also, if you're running short of, so what you have to do is take up your mobile phone, just take the snaps, and then you can learn all those words which I'll be dealing with today. So here we go. Vocabulary. We have to find out, or we have to know actually the meaning and the definition of vocabulary. I usually alphabetize and explain collection of words, or the collection of words a person knows and uses is called vocabulary. Okay, I'll make it more simple. What is actually vocabulary? You would say in another word, it's called words. Words. Whatever words you have, those are actually vocabularies. And the way you are using those words in your sentences, those are vocabularies. And the thing is that it's more important whenever you are speaking. Whenever you are speaking, you have to make sure of that which word is actually suitable or appropriate for that particular sentence. So you have to keep that in your mind. I have taught you many things about homonym and confusing words, pronunciation. See, all those actually, the classes which you must have seen and watched, those were actually related to this one also, the vocabularies. The thing is that, one more thing that I just want to add up over here is, whenever you speak, make sure that you are using new words. There are plenty of words in English, plenty of them, but you forget them. Whenever you are speaking, whenever you are writing also, at that time you'll forget that this word could be written there, or such words could be used over there. I know it. Many a times we are having such problems. We will be miserable whenever we are talking to someone or writing something, maybe in the form of letter or paragraph writing or essay writing. We usually forget. So in order to keep that in your mind fresh, what you have to do is you have to speak, and you have to use all those words which you must have come across before, but you must have forgotten also to use them. Okay? So in such things, vocabulary is important. Let's move on to the next one. Actually, the slides which I'll be telling you those words actually. That is one of the words, flabbergasted. Okay? It pronounced flabbergasted. Flabbergasted. You know the meaning of that one? It's quite simple. To overwhelm with bewilderment or astonish, amazed. Whenever you are amazed, whenever you are surprised, you have to say like this, I am flabbergasted to see that you have won the match today. I am flabbergasted. I did not expect this. Such kind of, words could be used. But sometimes we won't be using them because we must have forgotten them, or sometimes we don't actually know them, all those words. Okay? So these are such terms over there that you could use. Use them in writing, use them in speaking. So that is the word for you, flabbergasted. Whenever you are amazed, whenever you are astonished or surprised or bewildered or in shock, I would say, that time you could say this word by saying this, I am flabbergasted to see you performing like this. Okay? So I hope that you are using that particular term over there. See, it's quite simple, but the thing is that you were not aware of this word. Okay? More to the next word, toddler. Toddler. DDLER, toddler. You know the meaning of that? A young human being who has started walking but not fully mastered it. We usually call that particular young human being as a child or infant, or typically between ages 1 to 3. Okay, those kids who are not able to walk, those kids are called toddler also. In spite of saying kids, infant, or child, you could use this term, toddler. Okay, toddler. So I hope that you are going to use this word also over there in your sentences. And I think most of you have come across this word also. But the thing is that whenever we are talking and whenever we are writing something, we usually forget all these terms. So you have to make sure of that whenever you're speaking, take a pause whenever you speak, or think of something. As the other day I was like, for the class 9th, I was asking the students and I was telling them also, whenever you are speaking, you have to be conscious about what you're speaking. One more thing also is there. In what language do you think, actually? That was my question. When I was dealing with class 9 with the tenses and all, I was telling the students and I was asking them also that in what language do they think? Okay, because most of us, we usually think in our own mother tongue, a language. It could be Hindi, it could be Marathi, it could be Tamil, etc. Okay, so it's quite difficult for you, but it's not impossible. So you have to start thinking. In which language? In English. You got to do it. Whenever you do it, definitely you will know how to frame sentences. Okay, so keep that in your mind, that whenever you are thinking, you must think in English in order to speak good, in order to speak amazing English. Okay, move on to the next word, grocery. Yeah, grocery. What is it, by the way? It's a shop, store where you will find all these household supplies or household items. But what do we say, you know? I'm going to the shop to buy a packet of salt. I'm going to buy a kilo of sugar. We used to say that, shop. But see, I mean, like, don't you find it a cliche? You know what is cliche? A cliche is something that is repeated. It becomes silly. It becomes a fun type of thing. It's called cliche. Okay, let me just write it for you. This is the spelling of cliche. Okay. Cliche is actually, the meaning of that is whenever you are repeating the same thing, accidentally, that becomes a cliche. Like, for example, we used to ask a person whenever we meet them. We don't usually ask them, how are you? Okay? That could be the secondary. Whenever you are meeting a person, you won't just immediately ask him, how are you? You won't ask that. Then how you'll ask him, you know that in your language? Khana kha liya? Have you taken your food? That is the first thing that comes to us whenever we are meeting someone. Don't you think so? Yes, we do that. As if you are going to, I mean, like, you know, treat that person as you're going to provide him food, as you're going to feed him. Okay, that is actually a normal way of greeting a person to start the talk, right? Whenever we want to talk to a person, we usually ask like this because we don't have anything to talk about. So it usually starts like this. Khana kha liya na? Khana khaya ki nahi khaya? Have you taken your food? Have you eaten? Okay, so those particular terms are actually cliche. Why I was telling you that? Because that thing which is there on your screen right now, grocery is actually the name for that particular store or shop where you will find all these household supplies. Okay, whenever you have to go to the shop to buy all these household supplies like eatable things or those materials that have been used or that are supposed to be used over there at home. So for such thing, for such shop, for such store, it's called grocery. Okay, but we don't do that, we don't use it. Hardly we use that. Don't you think so? Yes, it is. We don't use them. The reason is that because we are okay with all this word which we are knowing. But remember, I told you one thing about the parts of speech in the beginning. If you have watched one of my videos, which was on air much before, it was something about this, something about actually the term. What was the term? That how you have to actually avoid such words by using them repeatedly. Okay, there are so many words as we have been doing it. I mean, like, as we have been using them regularly, and you must have forgotten all those words. Just because of that, you are not having those vocabularies. Vocabularies are actually important here because it adds something to the sentences. Okay, let's move on to the next word. Petrol. What is it? It's petrol. Petrol. B-E-T-R-O-T-H-A-L. Petrol. Okay, and the meaning of that is there. A mutual promise, engagement, or contract for a future marriage between a man and a woman. Okay, we call that sagai in Hindi, engagement. Whenever a man is promising a woman to be his wedded husband or to be a wedded wife with a particular person, that ceremony is called betrothal. Okay, we used to say engagement. I have to go and attend someone's engagement today, engagement ceremony. So despite saying that one, you could use this term, the betrothal ceremony. I have to attend a betrothal ceremony. Okay, you cannot say a function also. It's not a function, a betrothal function or something like that, because function is something different. Okay, so this one, the term betrothal, is actually for a man and a woman who promise to marry each other in the future. So for that particular purpose, they get together, they'll have that ceremony, the betrothal ceremony, and then that for sure that they're going to get married, right? Okay, the next word on your screen right now is craving. You know the meaning of that? The meaning of that is a strong desire or yearning. Okay, now let me tell you one thing. These words are there in your books. If you read those books which you are having right now with you, you'll find all these words, but the thing is that you have never opened them, or you were not having the times to open them and all that. You never had the time to open all those. But actually, seriously, if you are keen to learn, if you are keen to speak English, then you have to do all those. Okay, as I told you that you have to think in English whenever you are speaking, or whenever you are thinking of something. Maybe you must have thought in your language so far. So what you got to do over here is you must think in English. Okay, and you are having books, a lot of books you are having there at home. So for that, just you need to open them. Just make the books as your friends, and then you'll find out all those words over there and see. You're gonna be completely amazed, flabbergasted whenever you see them, whenever you understand actually that what are the words for them and how we are going to use them in the sentences. Okay, so craving, whenever I am having a desire to eat something, for example, I love mangoes, I just want to eat, I want to have mangoes right now at this moment, this instance. So how I will use that particular term over there in my sentence? I am craving for mangoes. Okay, I'm craving for ice creams. I want to have it right now. So a strong desire or yearning is called craving, and is there in your book. You could find that out. That's the word sumptuous. S-U-M-P-T-U-O-U-S, sumptuous. Sumptuous. And the meaning of that is something that is quite expensive, grand, luxurious, and impressive. For example, you would say amazing thing, or say excellent, magnificent, splendid, fabulous, fantabulous, all those words. Okay, for that particular term you could use also. Like you could say, it's sumptuous that you are here. This watch is so sumptuous that I really love it, I like it. Okay, so such words are missing. Why? Because we don't use them and we were not aware of them. Just because of that, such beautiful words, strong words, we are not using. Such thing is vocabulary. You have your vocabulary, you will be able to communicate, converse with some people, and then you will be able to write also. Okay, your reading skills will be improved, your writing skills will be improved, as well as your speaking skills. Your spoken will be improved too. The next sentence, or the next word, B-I-Z-A-R-R-E or B-I-Z-A-R-R-E. Actually, the pronunciation of Z is Z in some of the countries. Okay, I'm not asking you to follow me, but I'm just like trying to tell you actually that that could be the pronunciation of Z also as Z. Okay, these American people, they pronounce this term as Z. Okay, so you don't have to do that anyway, but I'm just like telling you, just a piece of information that I'm telling you. Okay, so B-I-Z-A-R-R-E, and how you'll pronounce that word? Now you are getting the meaning of that. Strangely unconventional in style or appearance. Whenever you see something strange or something unconventional in style or appearance, that's called B-I-Z-A-R-R-E. Bizarre. That is the pronunciation of that one. Bizarre. Bizarre. Okay, it's, I mean, like, it's an animal which is completely bizarre. The animal is having that strange look, or strange animal it is. I think so. You have, if you are watching NGO, that is National Geographic Channel or some of the Discovery channels and all that, this program is there also. One of the programs that's called Bizarre Animals. Okay, bizarre animals or bizarre creatures. Those different types of animals, insect or creatures which are completely different, which you must have not seen before. Such show, they are actually, you know, showing over there on TV. In the NGO, there is a National Geographic Channel and Discovery. Okay, bizarre. Okay, so that particular pronunciation, bizarre. Okay, it's not bizarre or bizarre or something like that. Okay. Okay. So I want to tell you something about a word that I'm going to write on board right now. You have to pronounce this word for me, okay? This is the word that you must have come across of this one, all of you. I just want you to pronounce this one. It's what? Bicycle or bicycle, okay? You may think that the pronunciation for that one would be bicycle, you know, because here, if cycle alone is a word and having the pronunciation of cycle, so this could be a bicycle. But we are wrong and you are wrong too. Actually, this is not the correct pronunciation of it. Whenever you say bicycle, cycle is okay. Okay, that's the rule. If you say cycle, that's okay. That's appropriate. But if you say bicycle, that could be wrong, entirely wrong. Okay, and it's not good to use that. So instead of saying bicycle, you have to say bicycle. Okay, it's bicycle. Okay, that was just true. It just came to my mind. That's why I just told you this one. It's bicycle. Okay, the next word. Those are actually the use of very. We have been using very many times whenever we are talking. I'm very good. I'm very well. Very good morning. See, I mean, like, it's not incorrect to use very, but it becomes a cliche whenever you use them every time. As I told you, the meaning of cliche, whenever you are repeatedly using something and it becomes a silly thing, a joke, or comedy, or something like that. So you have to avoid such words whenever you're using. Try to use them once. Okay, you got to use them once in your sentences, or at least two at the max, but not all the time. We used to say good morning. I don't think so that you have to say very good morning. Good morning is enough. You don't need to say Very good morning, because it's morning and it's understood that it's morning, and you just have to say good morning to wish somebody. Good evening, not very good evening. In reply to that, in response to that, you just have to say good evening too. Otherwise you could say likewise, okay? But not very good morning or very good evening or very good afternoon, because it sounds cliche, it sounds silly. So you have to be careful. You can use them once, but not all the time, all right? So there are plenty of words over there on screen right now. Very eager, very dry, very happy, very valuable, very tasty, very angry, very ugly, okay? And very strange, very hungry, very tired, very hot. Isn't it? Those are the words. We use them whenever we have to communicate in English. We use all those words. Whenever we are talking to someone in Hindi also, we use such words. Very thank you. Now tell me, does it sound good to you? Very thank you. It doesn't sound good, right? Very much. I like him very much. Okay? So, despite of saying, using very, for very eager, you could use keen. I'm keen to know that where you have learned to play piano. It's one of the examples, okay? I'm keen to know that where you have learned to play guitar. Keen. You cannot say, I'm very keen to know, because that will again, inappropriate, and it will look silly. I mean, like, whenever you're talking. So, you shouldn't be using very. I'm very keen to know. Okay? Instead of saying, you remove that keen and then just say, remove that very and just say keen. I am keen to know. I am keen to learn. Okay? But if you are saying very eager, that is also fine. Okay, no problem. I'm not saying that you have to completely avoid that. In the sense that you can use them once, but whenever you're using such words every time in your sentences and all that, that will make your language, weak. It will be, kind of a language that you have not at all spoken before. The next word, very dry. And instead of saying very dry, you would say parched. It's parched, just because of that I'm thirsty. You could use that in that particular sentence also. Parched means whenever it's hot or something, it's dry, just because of that you are feeling more thirsty. You want to drink water, you want to drink some water. Okay? So instead of saying that it's parched, because of that I'm feeling thirsty. Okay, the next one, very happy. I'm very happy today that I have won the match. I'm very happy today that I have got through in my examination. Instead of saying very happy, you would say jubilant. I'm jubilant that I have won the match today. Okay? You could use those particular terms instead of using very. The next word, very valuable. Instead of saying that, you would say precious. This ornament or this jewelry is precious. I need to buy it. Okay? And otherwise you could use some of the example like this. This ornament was given by my grandmother and it's precious. Instead of saying very valuable, you could use very valuable. But the thing is that if you use them all the time, it becomes a common word. Okay? Move on to the next one, very tasty. Instead of saying very tasty, you could say delicious. This food is delicious. I like this food. I like this biryani. It's delicious. How you have made this today? Okay? Instead of saying very tasty, because it sounds a little bit dull. Okay? Whenever you're using very. The same thing with very angry. Instead of saying very angry, my father is very angry because I have taken his car. Instead of saying that, you could say my father is furious today because I have taken his car without his permission. So you could use that. The next word, very ugly. That means hideous. I mean, like, instead of saying very ugly, you would say hideous. See, your statement is hideous. Just because of that, I want you not to do it again. I'll just make it more simple. Your statement is very ugly. I don't want to hear it. What you have said, it's wrong. Instead of saying like this, your statement is hideous. I don't like it, please don't say it again. You could use that one. Okay, move on to the next word. Very strange. It's very strange. Instead of saying very strange, you would say peculiar. It's peculiar to see the weather is changing. It's peculiar to see the environment. Okay, you could use that. It's strange to see the climate change. For example, you could use that word. Okay, so instead of saying very strange, you could use peculiar. Okay, move on to the next one. Very much. I like you very much. You could replace that by saying, I extremely like you. I extremely like you. Okay, instead of saying very much, you could say extremely. Very hungry. I'm very hungry. I want to eat something. I'm famished. I need to eat something. Give me something, please. I need it right now. Seriously. I'm famished. I need to eat. Okay, the next word, very tired. Whenever you're tired of doing your work and you're out for office and then you came back home and then you see everyone is actually, not at all waiting for you, not at all waited for you, and they had so on. I mean, like so many things are over there. Very tired. What is the meaning of very tired? I mean, like in replacement of very tired, you would say, I'm exhausted. Please don't make noise. I'm exhausted. Please don't make noise. The next word, very hard. It's very hard to speak English. Is it? Instead of saying very hard, you would say, it's tough to speak English. It's not tough to speak English until you try it. So please, keep on trying. Think in English. Okay? So in that particular thing, very hard, you could use tough. Okay? It's tough to see you doing like this. For example, you could use that. Okay, the next word, very bad. Instead of saying very bad, you would say severe. Okay, it's very bad that this is happening. It's just bad to see this happening, you would say otherwise like this. Okay, it's severe right now. It's in severe condition. It's in bad condition. It's a very bad condition, you would say. So students, you must have understood and you must have learned today that what all I was trying to meant with that so-called vocabulary. So please, I'm requesting you all, whenever you are there at home, whenever you are also outside, please speak in English. All right? I know it's not our language, but we are trying. And how you have to do that? You have to speak with someone who knows English, or who don't know also, no problem. You can speak to your family members or your brother or sisters or your parents, etc. Okay, but you have to do it. And before that, I was telling that you just have to think in English also. Okay, so now avoid using those repeated words, the cliche words and all, because it makes it awkward, your sentence, whenever you're speaking. Keep that in your mind and keep reading books. All right, that will help you a lot in learning English, the language. Okay, so till then, I'm calling it a day today. So I just want you to be safe at home. Keep the social distancing and wear the mask always. #stay safe, stay home. God bless.